This is Jason, and today on Jetskibrothers, it's time to winterize some jet skis. So every year we have to winterize our skis. We've probably got like 2 or 3 of these videos already, so this one's probably worthless, but if it isn't worthless, you can watch this one. So here's the stuff you need. I mean, sort of. You need a fuel stabilizer. I guess some people drain the tank, but to each their own. I stabilize the fuel and call it good. You'll want some kind of fogging oil, I guess. We use WD-40. It's not probably ideal, but we have it, so we just use it. Sometimes you need a plug wrench, and probably need your 10mm socket to remove your battery, and then a ratchet or a gun or whatever. So we're gonna do this Sea-Doo and you'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna go over procedure with you and then I'm gonna do it, but it'll be kind of loud, so I'm just gonna talk about it first. So the first thing that we like to do, well, first thing I like to do is I will start up the ski.
Josh here. I like to start out with putting the fuel stabilizer in the skis, and I'm going to let you know the reasons for that later on, but that's just a matter of my personal preference.
First thing I like to do is I will start up the ski, and pretty much I just want to rev it kind of high a couple of times to blast out as much water as I can possibly get. I wonder if there's something more you should do in a colder climate.
To prevent freeze damage on your personal watercraft, there's generally 2 main techniques used that you could do this with. And the first one's pretty obvious, which is to just keep it warm, which would be putting it inside a heated area, like a garage or something, where it doesn't actually freeze. And to go along with that, there's also the technique of putting like some sort of heating device in the ski itself, but I don't really want to go into that because there's certain amounts of danger involved with that, with like a heat lamp breaking in your ski and then it catching on fire. So I'm not really going to go over that because I think it's kind of dangerous and I don't really like that technique myself. The second general technique to keep it from freezing in a colder climate, it would be to run coolant through the system on the personal watercraft. So to run coolant through a personal watercraft, you basically, what you need to do is get something like this, and then you fill this jug up with like a coolant. A lot of people will run the RV coolant that they use for, you know, the RV plumbing and whatnot. Seems to work fine, but any other, I keep saying coolant, but I mean antifreeze. Basically an antifreeze that'll keep stuff from freezing, and antifreeze coolant is kind of a typical thing in a car, but any kind of antifreeze coolant will work. Just something that has a freeze level that keeps it from freezing from the level of how cold it gets at your area, if that makes sense. Wow. Okay. So anyways, you just fill this jug up with the antifreeze. A lot of people will use the RV antifreeze for the RV stuff. You got to get this up higher than your personal watercraft. So set it up high, connect the hose to here, connect it to your flush port on your ski, fire up your ski, turn this on. Gravity feeds the coolant into your ski while it is running. And what you're looking for is it to, you know, have the antifreeze come out your exhaust. And that way, you know, everything in there is all filled up with the antifreeze, and then you don't have to worry. Obviously, this step could be combined with something else, like when you're running out the carbs or something like that.
We freeze here a little bit sometimes. We get snow, but it's not too bad. This is like a moderate cold winterizing. So anyway, you'll rev that water out of there, and then after that you can just turn off the fuel, and if you just let it run until it dies, that will pull as much fuel out of the carbs as you can get, which is ideal because you want less fuel in the carbs. And after you've turned off the fuel, you can start spraying a fogging oil, something, into the carbs. In this case, it's kind of open on the top, so we could spray it in while it's running. And that should just suck up enough oil and lube up the engine to keep it from rusting over the winter. If it doesn't seem like you got enough oil in there, or you just want to be extra safe, what I'll usually do is I will pull the spark plugs and put some oil in there and then just turn it over by hand a little bit, and that will get the engine all set. So I'm going to go through that procedure. Alright, so we ran that carb out of fuel and I put oil in it while it was running, so should be pretty lubed up, but I'm still going to pull the plugs off and put a little bit more in the top end. I have lubed up the cylinders and replaced the spark plugs. The next step I'm going to do is to remove the battery. And you'll want to charge your battery and put it on a battery tender. And then the final step is I'm going to take some fuel stabilizer. In this case I'm using Stable, but some people like to use Seafoam. There's some other products that are pretty good. And oh man, I just estimate how much fuel is in the ski, and then I follow the guidelines for how much fuel. I think that the recommended way is to fill the ski all the way up with fuel, and then you can know how much is in the tank because you'll know the tank size. And then you add stabilizer. But I don't want to put extra fuel in here right now, so I'm just going to add stabilizer for the amount of fuel. I think there's about 5 gallons, so I'm going to add, I don't know, a few ounces. And if you want to really do it the right way, you should probably just fill your whole tank. I believe letting there be some oxygen in your tank lets your fuel separate, especially if there's ethanol in it. So, science, blah blah blah.
I like to put the fuel stabilizer in first, just because that way it gets into the fuel, and then when you're kind of running it out, it can get into your fuel lines. And I just prefer that. It makes me a little bit more happy to have the fuel stabilizer kind of running through everything.
And since we're doing everything the most correct way, the thing you want to do after that is just kind of shake it in there. That's some science for you right there. After that, you can just kind of batten down the hatches. You've got a cover. Put that on your ski. I don't know, we might put this under a shelter or something, but that's how we do it. And now that ski is winterized. I just did a Sea-Doo, and what if you have a Yamaha, or a Kawasaki, or a Tiger Shark, or a Polaris? I don't know, I might be missing something, but whatever. At least Kawasaki and Yamaha are going to be pretty similar. We got the Rob here we're going to winterize. This poor thing has not had any work done to it. It got rode, didn't work, and we've been busy with other projects, so it'll be a rare starting of this ski just to winterize it, which is kind of sad, but here we are. But same deal. I've got the carbs open right here so I can spray some fogging oil into it. It actually doesn't have a fuel shutoff, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just pull the inline when I do that to get the fuel out of the carbs. I guess I maybe should have thought about that. And then I'll probably just put some oil in the head. It's a pretty small tank, so probably won't take much stabilizer. And take the battery out. So I hope it starts. A rare start. I might not do it even. Yeah, that thing's going. Yeah, you see that? Just pulled that out. This is really turning into 1000% sketchy. Oh, cool. Cool. I like on this ski. Oh, that one's already loose. Isn't that adorable? I like on this ski that I don't have to use the ratchet because I can just use a gun. I guess you can see more of it. Put some in there. Put some in there. I'm probably giving you the worst view. Like that. Put in the right amount. Just know what the right amount is and put that much in. And I could actually turn this over, not by hand, because the battery's still connected, but I don't really want to do that because if I do that, it's going to shoot this oil out of the head, and then it won't be there to do what I want it to do. So, got that. Get our plugs back in. This ski seems to run good until it gets in the water. So, let's see. The advice that I need from you guys on this video, I need you to tell me what's wrong with this ski, why it only runs good when it's not in the water, and I think Jacob suspects it's something electronic. I wonder if the exhaust setup is got too much like back pressure, because it comes out here, custom exhaust, which is great, but then it goes through here, and I don't know if there's enough baffling in this faux water box to push against the water coming in the exhaust. I guess it probably does have enough. I don't know. Something's weird about it anyway. So, cinch those up. Comment what's wrong with this ski so I can just fix it the easiest possible way. And then we're gonna pull that thing, add some stabilizer. Remove the battery, put the cover on, we'll be done. And then the other commentary I need is if I miss something on my Sea-Doo, winterizing it, go ahead and just roast me. Is there a gallon in there? Can you even see a gallon? Maybe a half gallon? Jeez. Use half an ounce. Great. Winterized. Ideally, we would have like some animation crew for some part of this that could just like, we could do like a winter is coming thing and have like White Walker zombies that destroy jet skis. So that we, you know, because it would be super cool to mix that Game of Thrones format with the sadness of putting away jet skis for the year. I do still have one or two that are not going to get winterized just yet. It's pretty cold out, but when you want to ride, you want to ride. Owning jet skis is great, but how many of you wants to winterize every single one of these jet skis? Like, man, we should just get it figured out and own the amount that we want to ride and not like this insane amount and get to do all that extra everything. This isn't even all of them. It's just the ones that are down here. Anyway, I was gonna do a Q&A session while I winterize this next one because of this question I got from Chris Glassy. He says, how do I winterize a jet ski if it doesn't run? Oh man, what opportune timing, Chris. Thank you so much. So right here I've got the Wave Blaster 1200. It isn't running right now. And I've pulled the spark plugs off, and I'm going to turn it by hand while I spray oil in it, and that's going to help the engine not seize up over the winter. And then just like before with the fuel tank, I'm going to add fuel stabilizer. Unfortunately, I won't be able to draw all the fuel out of the carbs while I do that, but we're going to do the best we can. Alright, so this next question comes from Dude Rock. Why aren't you better at jet skiing? Wow, really calling me out here, man. I mean, I do my best. I'm just, you know, it's just apparently not my thing, like, to be really skilled at. You know, some of it's about having fun. It doesn't have to all be about being great at jet skiing. Give me a break here. And besides, I've only been riding for like maybe 5 years. Let's see, I think Jacob got his first ski like 6 years ago. And that summer he got approximately 1 hour of ride time. I don't think he even got that, but that's what he tells me, so I'm gonna take his word for it, I guess. But that thing like did not run very long. If you've got that ski, it's like a 550 with like a purple flame job on it. Jacob wants to buy it from you, so just let him know. So that summer I didn't ride, and then 5 years ago Jacob got a deal on some, like a 550 and a 650, and those skis worked. I haven't used one of these before, but I think it's gonna be good. Those skis worked. We broke them constantly, but we rode them constantly. Maybe not constantly. When we went camping, we rode them a lot, and this is a great setup, by the way. This is the future. This, like, I mean, how tired are you of these cans that are like still full when the aerosol runs out? We rode those skis and then they broke, and then we rode them and then they broke, and then we went camping, and that's when we really rode them a lot until they broke. And then I think the next year, 4 years ago, Jacob got a 2013 Superjet. He did the research, picked the good ski, and then he like saw a square nose Superjet that was a pretty good deal, like not much later, and he was like, you need to buy this. And I was like, do I? And he was like, it'll be gone tomorrow. If you don't buy it, someone will. It's a good deal. So I did, and that was kind of the start of the addiction, I guess. I think at the end of that year, I got a project to build a round nose Superjet. Like, I got all the pieces, and so it was kind of a good deal, but I didn't know how to build it, and Jacob was like, I can help you, and honestly, the whispering shivers have settled in your eyes, staining your lips with gray words, stealing your voice of sweetest chants.